Gemini is a Hellbourne powerhouse mid-game carry with multiple AoE nukes, but also scales well into the late game due to the properties of his passive. He is versatile due to his strong escape initiation ability, multiple AoE spells, and his unique ability to be able to not only control the map, but gather farm and experience in two places at once. Gemini can do over 655 damage while completely stun-locking his enemy at level 6 with a successfully landed combo, but is vulnerable to even modest nukes early on while using his ultimate. Gemini has higher base stats, larger stat gains per level, and more base armor than most other melee agility carries in the game. With a 2.1 stat gain per level and 19 points of strength at level 1, Gemini is an agility hero with a larger than average health pool coming into the mid-game, allowing him to skip the more traditional defensive items like Sacrificial Stone, Helm of the Black Legion, and Shrunken Head, and go straight into his core items. Gemini also has one of the highest primary attribute gains with 3 points per level of any carry in Newer. His strong agility gain gives him naturally high attack damage, and when combined with his high strength gain, Gemini can be successful during teamfights with a relatively modest amount of early game farm. Gemini's passive is one of the fundamental properties to understanding how to play this hero. Elemental Force augments Gemini by giving him increased move speed, increased armor penetration, and increased cast speed from his total agility, strength, and intelligence, respectively. Gemini's Q ability is called Twin Breath. It is an AoE nuke that will affect units in a cone-shaped area in the target direction, dealing moderate magic damage and snaring over time. His W ability is called Twin Fangs. This skill will always stun a small AoE half the length of the screen away in the target direction, damaging units and breaking trees along the way. Gemini's ultimate ability is his defining trait. He splits himself into two forms, fire and ice. Let's call this dog form. Both dogs can be hotkeyed for ease of use. During this state, Gemini the hero is completely invulnerable, and any auras that are built on Gemini originate from fire. This form can be used to disjoint projectiles or dispel any buffs or debuffs that are either on Gemini or fire and ice. Each dog has a version of Gemini's activatable spells with an AoE nuke on Q and a stun on W. Fire and Ice can teleport to each other wherever they are on the map after a short channel using their third ability, and can recombine, rebirthing Gemini also after a short combined channel. When in dog form, both dogs gain gold and experience for Gemini separately. This means that not only can you gain gold and experience from two different places on the map at once, but also, if you're split during a teamfight, gank, or area farming, you are taking twice as much experience as any hero around you. Gemini is a versatile laner due to his Twin Fangs ability. It allows him to be played as a semi-carry role in the middle lane, a carry role in the short lane with a support hero, or even as a suicide solo in the long lane. The starting items for solo middle Gemini are pretty standard. You have plenty of health regeneration with the Runes of the Blight and the health potion, and then some mana regeneration so you can use your activatable spells freely. The Logger's Hatchet helps to ensure getting enough farm during the laning phase to move you through the early part of the game. The Minor Totems give you more stats and increase your attack damage slightly to help you compete with the enemy mid player. When laning solo as a melee against another hero, you will want to poke them with your normal auto attacks as much as you can. To help enhance this attrition damage, we skill Elemental Force one time first. This gives Gemini a little bonus when hitting another hero because at level 1, Gemini can ignore over 1 point of armor due to his high base strength. From there, you should put 1 point into your stun and max out your Twin Breath as quickly as possible. The reasoning behind this is because Twin Breath not only can nuke the creep wave and earn you multiple creep kills, allowing you to also harass the enemy off the creep line at the same time. When playing middle lane Gemini, your goal is to take over the game and snowball out of control. This is why we rank our 2 active spells to 4 to increase the burst damage the hero does. The high damage that your spells provide, combined with the similar spells from dog form, and the level advantage you get from going in a solo lane, easily allows you to show up in the enemy short lane, jungle, and long lane, and take out almost anyone you see. Your first item should be Bottle. If you are looking to control the early to mid game, you will need to collect runes and influence the side lanes with ganks and have an increased map presence upon turning level 6. From there, you should work towards your core items, Steam Boots, Energizer, Grape Locket, and Firebrand. This combination of items gives you just the perfect amount of mana, HP, and move speed in order to be a mid-game powerhouse. Your luxury items on Gemini help you transition from having a strong mid-game to being able to earn your place in the late game as well. Look to upgrade your Firebrand into a Frostburn, switching from Steam Boots to Post Haste for increased map control, and Genjuro and Wingbow for added damage during the later phases of the game. This leaves you room for 2 items by selling your Grave Locket and Energizer, which you think would best fit your own game. Your starting items for dual lane Gemini are the standard double regen, mana potion, hatchet, and minor totems. There's a larger focus on being able to last hit efficiently in this lane, so the hatchet is necessary. The health regeneration helps to keep you in lane and give you a more lasting presence, while the mana potion allows you to harass or play aggressively on the enemy with your support player's help. When playing the short lane with another hero on support, your aim is to secure the most farm you can, while taking the chance to kill the enemies in your lane, if possible. The opportunity might present itself for you to kill another hero at level 1 while they go about their pre-laning phase routine, and this is why we take Twin Fangs first. Following the same line of thought as we had in the middle lane, it's useful to skill Elemental Force next, as it will allow you to ignore more than a full point of the enemy's armor. This effect works on all units in the game, including enemy and allied creeps, as well as Conqueror. This will give Gemini some extra damage to last hit creeps with, further helping to secure your farm during the laning phase. Since you are laning with another hero, and possibly have a jungler mid player to help you secure kills occasionally, we skill Twin Fangs over the nuke for the increased stun duration. A longer stun is more important when multiple heroes are within range to use spells or get in auto attacks, as opposed to the small duration snare that your Twin Breath provides. Depending on your lane enemies, the first item you will build will either be Power Supply or Steam Boots. Make the judgment call whether or not the enemy is playing aggressive enough with their spells in order to make building a Power Supply efficient. Personally, I would build this item regardless of laning enemy, as burst mana and HP can be used to surprise an enemy when turning to fight while your health is in the red. You should then work towards your core of Grave Locket, Steam Boots, Energizer, and Firebrand. This is the optimal core for Gemini in any lane and should be followed without question in nearly all of your games. Your luxury items on Gemini will put a focus on having a large teamfight presence as a carry hero. Upgrading your Firebrand to a Geometer's Vein, building towards a Frostal Skull, and then replacing your Steam Boots with Post Haste to make room for the Wingbow allows you to have quite a bit of HP, plenty of armor, and so long as you're out of combat, Gemini will be moving at hasted speeds with dog form running very close to the max move speed as well. This build allows you to have one flex item by replacing the Grave Locket for whatever item you think would best suit the game. Your starting items for solo long lane Gemini are drastically different from the standard build. In this lane, your goal is to soak up as much experience as you can, allowing you to hit level 6 as soon as possible. To do this, we buy a ward and place it in the enemy pole camp, thus encouraging the lane to push toward your tower. A shield and the standard double regen is necessary in order to take harass from a ranged support hero. The mana potion allows you to have no worries in using Twin Fangs to escape the risky situations. If you are given a ward by your own support hero, you should buy more Runes of the Blight in order to help stand your ground and possibly even trade attacks with an undersupplied enemy support hero. When playing Suicide Gemini, you will be spending much of your time in the mid-game in dog form. Abusing dog form will allow you to catch up on farm and gain experience very rapidly. Your goal when playing Gemini as a Suicide hero is not to be the team carry, but to apply pressure to unattended lanes and force the enemy team to spend their time and resources trying to counter you, leaving your own team's carry to farm freely. Your first skill should be Twin Fangs under almost every situation. This ability will keep you alive if you are to get caught out in the open or initiated on by a ganking jungler. While in Twin Fangs, you're invulnerable, and you should abuse this knowledge in order to dodge nukes or projectiles. You should then proceed to max out your elemental force, taking stats whenever you can. Upon reaching level 11, you should take 4 levels of your breath ability to give you a bit of burst damage during the middle portion of the game. The first item you should build is an iron shield. You can do this from the shop located near your lane by purchasing 2 duck boots. This item allows you to get up close and personal with an enemy support hero, giving you the chance to burn through their regeneration items. Forcing the enemy support hero to play passive is in your advantage, as it allows you to sit around in range to gain experience. From here, we work towards our normal core of Steam Boots, Energizer, Grave Locket, and Firebrand. There is one exception, however, and that is we will be replacing the Iron Shield with an Abyssal Skull. Abyssal Skull is a key to playing this style of Gemini. It allows you to farm in dog form more freely than you would otherwise, as the aura provides increased base damage, armor, and lifesteal. Moving into the later stages of the game, you should look to replace your Grave Locket with Behemoth's Heart, your Steam Boots with Post Haste, and upgrading your Firebrand to a Geometer's Bane. A Frostwolf Skull also provides a healthy boost of strength while still giving some Agi Int. I've mentioned a few times that Gemini has burst damage and can take over the mid-game with it. He has a skill combo that can deal over 1200 damage at level 16 without factoring in any auto attacks. The combo is Twin Fangs into Twin Breath, split into dog form, stun and breath with one dog, then stun and breath with the other dog. With only 3 levels of Twin Fangs, you're able to completely stun lock most heroes in the game, including many heroes with a blink, dash, or pseudo blink. With Twin Fangs maxed, you can stun lock literally any hero in the game, provided you have your core and Steam Boots set to intelligence before going into dog form. There is no other combo that you can do with Gemini that will allow you to do more burst damage than this one, because when you combine from dog form, even if your ultimate is off cooldown, there will be a forced cooldown of 5 seconds before you can split again. Just to review quickly, Fire and Ice both will gain golden experience for Gemini wherever they are at on the map. This allows Gemini to count as 2 heroes in teamfights, and even more importantly, in 2 different places on the map. Ice has a short duration snare attached to his breath ability, while Fire has a short duration burn. Fire also has the added benefits of being able to have all aura items built on Gemini originate from him. A Bound Eye also works directly on Fire to see invisible units in an aura around him, just as it normally would. However, it does not appear above Fire as if it were on any other hero. Items are disabled, but their passive uses still take effect. This is because, mechanically, Gemini is actually underneath Fire with an invisible model. Knowing this information, it is possible for us to abuse this mechanic by sending Fire back to base to sell and purchase items in Gemini's inventory. All you need to do is have Fire in range of the shop, then switch to Gemini by pressing your Select Hero button, or binding Gemini to a specific key, and then purchase or sell your items. This logic also applies to picking up items that are on the ground, like the Token of Life. Simply move Fire within range of picking up the item, switch to Gemini, and attempt to pick up the item. It's easy as that. While in dog form, it is vital to keep a very close eye on your minimap. Since efficiently multitasking is difficult, it is a good habit to watch your minimap in order to keep tabs on enemy positions in relation to your 2 dogs. They can be bursted down very easily, so you should gravitate towards farming safe areas. The most common thing you will do when split is to send Fire back to base to regen or purchase items. This tactic means you need less regeneration items than other heroes, and will not need to use a courier as often, bringing it up for your own team. This is a very safe move in most cases, however it does not leave you with much gold and experience gained for the time spent. In terms of resources gained, this method is not as efficient a use of your time as the following scenarios. Another common tactic will be to send Fire to the jungle to farm the easy and mid camps, while keeping Ice in the lane to soak up experience and occupy the laning enemies. This keeps the enemy on the lookout for Fire coming in to gank your lanes, or give them the cue to play aggressively on Ice. This is less safe than the first tactic, as you really have to pay attention to the enemy's movements with Ice alone in the lane, but will yield more golden experience because Fire is freely farming the neutrals. The least safe tactic to farming in dog form is to be farming in 2 different lanes at once. Normally your goal at this point is to push out the 2 lanes so you can rotate to farming with Fire in the jungle and Ice either ganking or static farming a lane. This tactic should only be employed when you want to go to the jungle to farm, but have creeps in front of you that you don't want to just leave to the enemy. Doing this will give you the highest yield on golden experience, and is the most efficient way to play Gemini in dog form. I'm SupahNoob. Good luck and have fun.